I guess I should say gentlemen because mostly I see men over here. And I think most of the forums have a lot of women out there, but this forum is dominated by men, I guess. But indeed, it's my honor to be here with Balramji and all of you and to address Poultry India group and, because you are the people who are the generators of protein for all of us. And I'm very glad to even see that India is almost 4th or 5th in terms of poultry production and protein giving to the entire world. So thank you for keeping up the good work. Thank you for giving us healthy protein. Thank you for minimizing the usage of steroids. Thank you for minimizing the usage of harmful medicines. And with all the help of technology and good feeds, and you are giving us the juicy and nice chicken for people like me to eat every day. Indeed, it's a great honor to be here today.
Look, guys, you have to be louder than that, huh?
It's okay.
Let us start. You were born in a village in AP to
Your mic is not working.
You were born in a village in AP to parents whom livelihood was farming. It was a shock for them to have given birth to a visually impaired son. But today you are a hero in your village and country. How does that feel?
You know, this question, nowadays I see this question very often. I don't know, people just ask this over and over, but I keep telling people, I don't have to, I didn't become a hero because the movie Shrikanth has come in. It's the Rajkumar Rao who had become a hero by enacting my role. But the irony is, I was anyway born hero. So I don't have to become a hero now after 33 years. I was born to be a hero. When I was born 33 years ago, the whole community thought I was a zero. But it was my parents who had realized that I was born to give the heroism in the form of bright light, knowledge and vision to people. So I was able to realize at a very young age that I was born to be blind because I was born to have 100% vision. You know, most of the people come and ask me, how much vision do I have? I always tell them I have 100% vision. That's when people get confused and say, then what's wrong with your eyes? What they mean is sight and not the vision, my dear friends. Because, you know, it's very important for us to understand that sight is purely for the mind, eye and the body, and vision is purely for the mind. You know, a person without sight or any physical issues can conquer the Mount Everest or can do anything, just as I have done it in many things. But a person without vision can do nothing. Because it is the vision that we cannot see, but we all have to feel it and we embrace it. You know, on this note, I always believed in knowing that God can only give you starting circumstances, but we make our own destiny. The future is in our hands with just enough randomness to make things interesting and less predictable. I mean, this is not to say that the problems that we face are easy. Of course, we have issues, but the stakes are higher. You know, think about it. A person working in a quarry from morning to evening is definitely working harder than any of us in this room. But her productivity is not enough to build something meaningful or let alone feed 3 meals a day. This is why I tell you, we all get starting circumstances. The exposure that we face is what really matters. But without right exposure at right age to right things, all your hard work and talent won't take you beyond breaking stones by hand all day. I think today, these kind of days is what creates that right exposure among people like us in a cohesive group. And it is the platforms like this can actually inspire us to go beyond what we think every day. Because when we actually work among our own teams or in our own purview, we don't know what the whole world is doing. Just as when I was in a special school, I couldn't even know how the world dreams and lives. But it was the day when I got kicked out of school, that's when I realized bigger world is beyond four walls that I lived in. I think every day as a leader, we learn so much. When I was born, everybody told my parents, you give him up. He's not useful to anybody. He will be a bread taker, not a breadwinner for you. And that point of time, in spite of this heavy devastation that my parents were undergoing, they were happy enough or confident enough to say, he will not be a bread taker for our family alone, but he will be a bread giver to millions of people and the whole country in future. I think that vision is what stood very tall in my mind and heart. Because today, after 30 years, I was able to prove my parents right. Ki yes, I can not only take on the lineage of my old parents, but can take on the whole country. You know, on that note, before I conclude, let me tell you, previously I was just Shrikanth Bolla, but now after the movie came in, I not only belong to my own family, but I'm proud to be a part of our entire big family, which is this Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, our whole nation. Because my story is somewhere, somehow owned by people from every corner of this world. People think if Shrikanth can do it against all odds, why can't we do it? That's the inspiration we always wanted to drive, because movies and stories are the best way for people to get inspiration. And this movie is not about any Bollywood masala. It's about an ordinary human being who happened to be a blind. It's not about someone who is blind that you want to show and make yourself good by just simply saying love is blind. No, it cannot. A person with full of vision was grown up by saying that he has no limitation. You know, my parents, my teachers and my principals and my well-wishers, when I was growing up, told me one thing, that Shrikanth, you have no limitation. I think that became a part of my DNA. You know, all of you may have two choices as leaders in day-to-day life. When you encounter a challenge, you show two responses. Either you show a flight response or a fight response. What is easy for you? Flight response, right? You can simply walk away from the problem or push it on to someone or lobby to get the problem done. But for me, because I don't have the eyesight, the only thing I can do is खड़ा होके लड़ना. क्योंकि if I run, I will fall down. But if I stand up there and fight, I will win. I think this has become my mantra for success so far.
Excellent answer, Shrikanth. So everybody wanted to know one thing. Actually, I just wanted to ask, how much justice the film has done to your story?
I think 98%.
Excellent. So then I think my questions will make a lot of sense. I think one of the key persons in that film and in your life is your teacher, Devika. Yeah, so, and tell us something about her, your relationship, and also why science was so important to you.
You know, in life, we all have, as I said, I was lucky enough. The setbacks I had in life enabled me to gain more exposure and meet right people in my life. You know, the ground level is always filled with no-sayers because people believe anything cannot be done. But as you go higher, you will meet people who think anything is possible. I, from day one, have never taken answer for a no. I built my life at my own terms that no one can negotiate. You know, we all believe in Vastu and nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to say you don't want to. But we all believe Vastu, we all believe astrology. But I, on the other side, write my own astrology rather than believing it. Because I think, as I said, God has given me enough talent, enough opportunities, and it is my destiny that I have to create. Because, you know, we are all born with this problem of fear. By choice, we were all disabled or especially abled, because when we look at fear, we all take a step back and say, no, this cannot be done by me. That is, because I don't see fear, I became fearless when I was young. I have grown up by seeing hardships as an opportunity. Because when I had to walk to study, I had to walk almost 5 kilometers a day. And even after struggling so much, and let me assure you, all my senses were keenly developed, simply surviving walking on the village roads without the privilege of eyesight. But even after doing so much hard work, nobody would acknowledge my presence, nobody would talk to me. So I sat in the last bench wallowing in my loneliness as a young kid. Now that I think Lord Gautam Buddha would have had similar experience when he sat in Lumbini before he got enlightened. But as a 6-year-old, I wouldn't knew about that, right? But I just simply wanted to play with everybody and want to enjoy. But that was not happening. That was the first time I felt I am the loneliest child in this world, because not that I don't have lunch box to eat, but I was made lonely by the perceptions of the people. This is where I have realized that loneliness is actually the poverty and not all the money in this world. In fact, all the money in this world makes you vulnerable and not happy. But if you are compassionate, I think that is what makes you rich as a person. These two values is what made me what I am today. It is from my own parents that I have learned to give compassion to people just as they have done it for a young kid without any opportunities as a young kid. But yet my parents were able to give me everything that they could against all odds. So I was determined not to be a financial burden on them from a young age. It was in special school that I saw my liberation. I was access to top class library, peer group and whatnot. The stakes were much higher. That's when I realized if I'm going to work hard, I might as well aim as high as possible. This is where I have learned to face hardships. I have learned to face the world because of my own teachers who had hand-holded me and said, Shrikanth, you had no limitations. I think that mantra stood very, very firm, and I was able to do everything. Whenever someone said no, I proved them wrong in everything. When a young age, when I was studying, somebody came and hit me with a ball and said, Arey bhai, aap to just big man mangne ka kabil hai. You cannot play cricket with us. That's when I told him, one day I will play for this country. And after 10 years, I have proven that game, that goal. When someone said I cannot play chess while not seeing the board, I have proven that I can in fact become the international grandmaster. When someone said I cannot play baseball, I have not only become proficient in that, but hit the best runs in the game. I think all that I needed for me to be successful is a no from people like you. Whenever somebody turns away from me, I will ensure to make that happen and ensure to win the game. The reason I am telling you this is you are all leaders in your own chosen path. Challenges haunt you every day. In fact, they are good for you. If you don't learn to accept challenges and overcome them, then you cannot be called a leader. A leader is someone who does not simply dream, but makes dreams a reality. Dreams are never practical. They are just like what you see in the sleep. But for us as leaders, dreams are not what you see in the sleep. They doesn't let you sleep until the work at hand is completed.
Well said, Shrikanth. Well said. Yeah. Shrikanth, ladies and gentlemen, Shrikanth is a lover of chicken. And in the differently abled school he was asked to thank the management. And what he does is he says, when the trustee was there, he says that every day chicken is cooked, but it is not served to us, it is eaten by the teachers and other people. So this is his chicken experience. I just wanted to know whether you started getting chicken after the complaint or not.
Of course, interesting thing is, people say if you don't have eyesight, all the other senses will work in a much better way. I don't know about that, but I can definitely smell things very right. When I was studying, we used to wonder while playing and all, "Arey yaar, aaj to chicken ban raha hai. Aaj to humko chicken milega." And then all what we used to get for 10 years was only the bengan and sambar. So if somebody says, "Today we'll give you bengan," I'll say, "Thank you so much, I don't need it." So people ask me, "Are you a vegetarian?" I simply respond them, yeah, I'm a vegetarian, but I only eat anything that moves. I don't eat anything that doesn't move. And Today, even on the plane, I was flying Virgin Atlantic this morning from London, and the crew says, "Sir, anything for breakfast?" So I said, "What do you have?" And she says, started saying idli, though whatever Indian breakfast. Ma'am, what do you have in English breakfast? Don't you have eggs? So I think my day starts with eggs and ends with chicken. So I'm very happy
Thank
to
you,
say that.
Shrikanth.
And on the chicken episode, you know, it's an interesting thing. I was a school leader. So when you're a leader, you are not leader because for a heck of it, right? If you're a leader, you're bound to do something for your own people around you. If you don't spread that compassion and do something for someone, I don't think you will be the first beneficiary. But in turn, if you try to do something for someone, you will be the first one to benefit. And when I was young, I always had a lot of empathy because, you know, it is the empathy that you can show on people to create livelihood, to show concern and what is called compassion. Compassion does not mean giving a 10 rupee coin to a beggar on the street. It's come from your empathy and in the emotion that you show on people to create meaningful opportunities for everyone around you. So when I was a leader, I always wanted to do something best for my own hostel mates. And we were not given chicken, we were not given good food. Even though a lot of donations were flowing in, people used to do anything they want. And all that they used to give is, as I said, only that watery sambar and hard bengan curry. So one day when I got a chance, I pulled up the gun and said, "Sir, these people are not giving us chicken." All that, so I don't want to thank you. I only want to half thank you because half the money is spent on us. I think that ended up changing a lot in the school, but the repercussion was I was thrown out of the school.
That's what I wanted to know.
And that, in fact, for me, it opened up the whole world for me to excel. And I was able to see what is there beyond four walls. So, everything, whenever I face a challenge, I look at what best I can do to overcome this challenge. Because it is the challenges which made me what I am today. If I don't face a challenge, I may not be successful. You know, success is not a one-stop journey, a destiny. It's a journey that is filled with a lot of challenges. You know, even today, let me tell you, you're all entrepreneurs in your own chosen field. If you understand, take a step back and understand, entrepreneurship is like a spiritual journey. Ultimately, it is a very lonely path. It is so lonely because most people do not understand why do we want to work so hard, take huge risks, and put ourselves through a roller coaster. Even today, if you go and ask my father, what do you want Shrikanth to do? He would happily smile and say, I want him to get a government job and get married to a pretty girl. You know, getting married to a pretty girl may not be a big challenge because I'm already married to a pretty girl of my choice and happily blessed with my own small family. But working for someone else, let alone for the government, fills me with total dread. And that is why I became an entrepreneur. And you as an entrepreneur would always want to change things around you. And I am not the one who wait for a change. I will in turn walk right into the problem and say, I want to be the change that I want to see. Even as you said, when the Board of Education said, Shrikanth, you cannot take up sciences because you are blind, I said, so what? No matter what happens, I am going to pursue my own aspirations and dreams. And that day, as a bakra or as a leader or as a resilient man or whoever, whatever you call it, just because I was able to fight for it, the whole generation was able to get the opportunity to study their own choice and their own subject. This is what happens, my dear friends. You as a stubborn leader, if you want the change to be felt in your own generation, you will not only benefit, but you will change the whole generation. And that day, when chicken was not given to us, I thought, future mein main sirf chicken hi kaunga. And I think today pretty much 6 or 7 days in a week, I eat all non-veg only. If somebody says, do you eat non-veg today? I'll tell them, only today I'll eat non-veg. Every day that only today will go.
Shrikanth, I think you just touched upon it. I think one of the very important milestones in your life was this fight with the education system. So can you take us through what went through your mind and how the whole thing unraveled and yeah.
I think, whether it's education, whether it's chicken, or even the smallest thing or the biggest thing in my life, I treat it the same way. अगर किसी ने बोला श्रीकांत ये तेरे से नहीं होगा, वो मेरे से ही होगा, वो मैं 100% प्रूव करूँगा. I think that attitude is what makes me to fight every day, even today, my dear friends. Even we all face lot of challenges. The other day, my accountant was telling, sir, there is a 17 crore notice from GST. I said, what's wrong with you? I said, no, they called for an audit information and some AI analytics they are using, and because the audit, we didn't get any notice, but we got the demand. I said, what, now we have to challenge it. So I think life is like that, because everybody wants to use AI analytics and simply throw mud on leaders like us, and it is on your job to prove that they are wrong. And that is as simple as that, I am telling you. So every day in a leader life is full of challenges. But if those challenges are not there, you will not be able to bring best out of you. It is only when you face disguise, that's when you will begin to appreciate the blessing. So when, with the help of my school management and my teachers, we embarked on a legal battle when the science was not given. So everybody said, in the court also had asked, how this guy is going to do practicals. And I assured through my counsel that today you are looking at me and telling me that I cannot do practicals, but tomorrow in future, I will run the best R&D labs of this country. And after 15 years, that dream has come true. And today we work on sustainability and waste management and recycling initiatives, and we not only simply recycle what you throw, but we design a lot of products out of waste, from agricultural residues, from chemical effluents, pharma effluents. For example, we are designing all your laundry care, beauty care, cosmetic products from agricultural waste like cashew nut residue, and a lot of other agricultural waste. We are making high quality food packaging and tableware products out of palm leaf waste. We manufacture paper for packaging and other applications from municipal waste out of dump yards. We recycle our boiler ash that we generate into minerals like silica and aluminum. We make biofuels out of pharma effluents and chemical waste. We at Bolent has no restriction on what we can recycle. That's because I am there to research and develop new products, because we at Bolent think innovation is not only simply creating new product, but making an existing product in a right way, a right price and right quality for mass users and mass consumers. And that is what I believe is innovation. On that note, when I saw a small cottage industry segment in India 10 years ago, I saw a lot of problems. You also look at it. A cottage industry is nothing but subscalable, substandard, low productive enterprise. But if you can't grow, you can't become efficient and innovate. Without efficiency and innovation, you'll fall further behind. I think this vision is what led me to find Bolent Industries, to consolidate the entire cottage industry and create a ripple that would have impact on multiple sectors of India. Because I, as an entrepreneur, believe one cannot create something by sitting in the lap of luxury. In fact, our brains are hardwired to produce our best efforts only when we face hardship. And as I said, I face so much of hardship in my life that it has become an addiction for me. So if I don't face any challenge now, I become restless. So I think if you can make hardship as an addiction, nothing can stop you from achieving. And that day, because of this addiction of hardship, is what allowed me to study science and pass with 98% and make sure that has become a permanent norm for the generations to come. Now, a person with any problem can walk right into the college and say, I can pursue my aspirations because Shrikanth has demonstrated that we, without sight, can do wonders. I think that it was later when IIT's coaching centers said, Shrikanth, we cannot admit you because you're blind, I told them, get lost. I will go on to study at MIT, which is the best school in the world.
Shrikanth, that is my next question. So you went to the best school in the world. You excelled there. You could have had a very bright future in America. What made you leave America and come to India?
If you actually look at how politicians or the Western world spend their time, they're busy debating whether our planet is 4 billion year old or 7,000 year old, or what point us Fortus becomes a human being. I know it must be luxurious to debate on such things, right? But in India, we have a lot of problems to solve. As simple as how to stop people from using roadside as a toilet, or how to provide skills for 90+% of Indians who are either unemployed or employed in low-end jobs. And it is my generation that needs to solve them. See, as a leader, I struggled so much to be where I want to be. But not everybody can fight like me. Just simply, people can choose easier paths of running. So I have to stand up as a voice for the voiceless. Because it's me who can do it. And it's only me who has to be a beacon of hope for people who live in darkness even today. We have millions of people who are unemployed when it comes to people with special abilities. And it's me who needs to take them and turn them to productive workforce. I think this was a vision that I had behind coming back to home and then setting up a company and demonstrate that people with special abilities can in fact perform better than the robots in the Apple factories. Because we all talk about DI, diversity, inclusion and equity in the corporate world now. But we have demonstrated that equity and inclusion and diversity were the essential ingredients of a social enterprise 10 years ago, when social enterprise concepts was very new to India. We said making money in a socially responsible manner is the only way to create scalable businesses, and treating industrial waste and consumer waste that we generate is the only way to make scalable businesses. And today, whole world is going after sustainability, but we have demonstrated that 10 years ago. And we want to be pioneers and drive the way that we be the change in the sustainability space that we want to be, while creating meaningful opportunities for people who are at the margins of the society. And we have a long way to go. Abhi जो कुछ आज तक हुआ सिर्फ a trailer, but picture अभी बाकी है, because I have to act in it anyway.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So Shrikanth, in the movie, there are a lot of incidences which are very, very interesting. And I'm saying we saw that in the movie, but we would like to hear those incidents from you. I think one of the most interesting...
I know where you're coming at. You want to understand the little bit of arrogance that you have seen in the movie,
that I'll
right?
come to later. But I think that in the movie, when he is boarding a flight to America, so they said that they will not allow a differently abled person unless and until he accompanied. And I think that at the airport, how he convinced the airline to take him even though he has nobody to accompany him is something, Shrikanth, we would like to know.
2007 is when this incident happened. And I think we are just 2024, close to 2024. Today I spend most of the time in the airports and the aircrafts. I think that's how the world changes. And it's all about changing the perceptions, right? Again, the same lesson comes back to you. अगर कोई ने बोला श्रीकांत तेरे को फ्लाइट बोर्ड करने नहीं दूंगा, I will ensure that I am on the aircraft. I think that is my dream and that is how I work. And I definitely have to see, we as leaders follow meticulous approach. Veda Sama Dandopayam in Telugu people say, you want to tell nicely, raise your voice, then lat marna. I think that's what we all do. I think that's how I take things also in my life. I convince, I win people with love. And if that doesn't happen, then I use force. That doesn't happen, then you have to go the next step, I think. And I was smart enough to demonstrate how I would actually board the flight, use toilets on board, and manage myself on board comfortably. So the manager ultimately was able to understand and relent his negative notion. So the end goal is you inspire, you as a leader have to inspire people, motivate people, and empathize people in whatever you do. It's not only one incident, my dear friends. Sometimes people even come to me and ask, can I help you? Can I help you carry your bag? And I tell them, thank you so much, I can do so. And people ask you as small questions as, can I open your food pack? I tell them I can do it. And we'll go by lift. I can tell them I can go by escalator. So you need to teach them what you are capable of. I think if we can do that, I think no challenge is bigger in terms of the bigger dream that we have. See, on that dream, right, people ask me, what do you want to do when you become the president of India? As my ultimate goal is to be the president of this country.
Just wait, Shrikanth.
Okay,
That is my question.
Oh, he has a plan for it.
Yeah, so it so happened that Shrikanth met Dr. Abdul Kalam, and he asked him what he wants to be. And Shrikanth will tell in his own words what he wants to be, what was the interaction with the Honorable President, and his association with him. Shrikanth, please talk about that. I think we have so much of respect for that person.
One of the important value that I really want to talk about today is the power of manifestation. When I was young, I always wanted to become a doctor. Then when I realized I can't do proper justice being a doctor without having eyesight, that's when I decided, अगर मैं डॉक्टर बन नहीं पाऊंगा तो ठीक है, डॉक्टर से शादी तो जरूर करूंगा, but engineer I can become. I think that manifestation, I was so powerful that there is this girl came chasing in spite of me not responding for 2 years, and finally we were married. I mean, we got to meet. And the first box I was able to tick was that she's a doctor. And I think then the same thing happened with Dr. Abdul Kalam ji. When I was selected to meet him as a youth leader, we were sitting in Rashtrapati Bhavan waiting for him to come. So the protocol says we cannot go and shake hands with the president, nor go and run to meet him. So मैं सोच रहा था कि if I can't meet him, then how would I see him, how he looks, how long hair he has, and how does he look, and all that stuff. So I was thinking to myself, मुझे तो जरूर मिलना चाहिए, क्योंकि मुझे तो दिखता है ही नहीं. These people can see him from a far distance, but I cannot. मेरे लिए तो north, west, south सब एक ही है. So that time I was manifesting in my mind, today if I'm not going to get an opportunity, tomorrow I'm going to go sit in his chair and make sure I become the president of India so that he will come to meet me. I think that was a manifestation that was running in my mind. And after a couple of minutes, he came in and started asking everybody, what do we want to become? I don't know. Out of blue, I was able to say him, sir, I want to sit where you're sitting and give more opportunities to people like me, and also inspire countless people who needs that empathy and inspiration across India. I think this struck him like a bullet and a missile, and he came running to me, and then he pushed me to the front, and he not only hugged me and said, I am with you from today, you are going to become the president of India, and I wish you all the best. And ever since that day, we had worked together on several projects, inspiring countless people, training more than 800,000 students. And just to wrap up this, I'll tell you one more incident in Coimbatore in 2013, I guess. So we were attending an event. Both of us were on the guest list, but I was the surprise guest. And I was called in last. Abdul Kalam ji is already on the stage. So it was his time to go and speak. So he goes to the podium. He says, excuse me, today I'm going to let my hero speak to you and inspire all of you. And then somehow I was dumbstruck. I went in, spoke for 3 minutes. I don't even know what I spoke, but I did. And then after 3 minutes, he goes to the podium and says, my hero had already said whatever I want to say today. You follow him. I think then that day, so I questioned him, sir, why are you calling me a hero? I know you're just insulting me. He coolly whispered in my ear and said, I'm not insulting you because you are a hero. I'm telling you to realize that fact today and take on this lineage of my mission and vision after I go out of this world. It is your job to become the president and make sure that you do all right things as I am, as my own chela or shishya. Because you always say I am your role model, so you have to follow what I have done to this world. I think that day is when I realized that I have a bigger purpose, and maybe God has given me this power of vision and taken away my eyesight because He wanted me to realize that I am not born for my own family, but I am born to do something beautiful and something phenomenal, something revolutionary, and a change be felt for the whole society. And from that day, I realized that I have a bigger mission in hand. So I always tell people, when I become the president of India, I'll ensure to alter our CRPC and make sure you will get people will get a death penalty if you don't dream big. You know, dream and manifestation is what it takes for you to swim against the tide and achieve anything in this world. Because dream big, work hard, and let the universe conspire to help you succeed. I think this is the mantra that we all need to follow. Because I tell you, to dream big, you don't have to pay GST. So you better dream big. And to work hard, you don't need GST. So you better work hard. I think nothing can stop you from achieving where you want to be in life.
Shrikanth, I think in the film, he made investments in your company also. Yes. And I think the Bolla name has also been given by him.
You know, he always used to tell me one thing. Shrikanth, you have to always be good and do good. And that's what can get you anything. I think that's how we came up with the name Bolla, because in Italian, Bolla means be good, do good. And we have a tagline where everyone counts. Because if you say the same tagline, it doesn't help you. Because for me, with us, everyone is a fact. Everyone is counted. Our stakeholders, our employees, because we work with people who are at the margins of the society to create world-class products out of waste that people should be proud of using. And I'm telling you, I can even create beautiful products out of your own waste, generating out of poultry farms and and equipment farms and much more.
Shrikanth, one question from Shrikanth, the person with a golden heart. I think I will not be doing my duty if I don't ask you about the best episode of the film, which was your courtship and marriage. And I think, can you talk about it in case it is not very personal? Yeah.
I think every episode in my life or every minute is very valuable to me. And because every challenge that I faced, every problem that I overcame taught me so much and gave me so much as a person. I was so stubborn that mujhe sorry bolna kabhi aata bhi nahi until recently. Even in one of our board meetings, kuch ladai chal raha tha, and one of my director wanted me to apologize to other director. I said, no, nothing doing. I don't want to do it. And somehow the guy was able to explain me in a spiritual way. Ravi Manta was able to explain me in a spiritual way what you can achieve by simply saying sorry to a other person who is hurt. I think, even on the arrogance note, right? That is something I really want to talk about. Everybody in biopics would only want to bring out their positivity, but that becomes documentary. Life I think we are not gods. We have our attitudes change every now and then. And let me tell you, for rebellious leaders like you and me, little bit of arrogance is always a beauty rather than having underconfidence. Because people may perceive it as arrogance, but we perceive it as self-confidence. People like me who had been put through a lot of stigma, put through a lot of insults, criticism, how would you become? You become stronger and you become resilient and you become tough. That toughness, prima facie, looks like arrogance, but it is not arrogance. It is willpower and self-confidence. So what you see in the movie is actually is not actually arrogance, but it is the thirst to overcome the challenge. You know, even somebody as close as my wife says, "You can't do this," I will ensure I will do it, because, and I don't like to be with people who say no. And in life, I'll tell you, I have lost a lot of friends, lot of well-wishers, just because they they couldn't agree with me that I can do this. And I think I don't feel regret in some way, but I know because they are not the right people to be with, because they are the no-sayers. They see negativity, but I see positivity. So we as leaders must choose right partners, right team, and right ecosystem who always says anything can be possible. And as you all know, I think we all dedicate our success to the women behind us. The same way, women in my life had been a phenomenal contributor in my success. Starting from my mother, my teachers, then my wife. I think at every step, a woman stood by me as a pillar to make me achieve anything that I really want to. And today and tomorrow, my daughter, Naina, should be that pillar of my hope and my aspirations, because see, my parents could not realize the apple of the eye became true for them. But for me, my daughter is my apple of the eye, because she has to take on the values and lineage and the legacy of what Shrikanth has done for the world.
Fantastic, Shrikanth, fantastic. So, Shrikanth, now the norm in now fireside chats is that we have a rapid fire round also, and very short answers I want.
Sure.
Can I start?
Sure.
What is the first thing you do when you wake up?
Oh, I want to eat eggs or chicken.
Oh, fantastic.
And I'm lucky to find a good wife as a good chef. My wife cooks a lot of variations in chicken, including see, previously I used to wait for Wednesday, because KFC में 50% offer आता था. अभी मैंने भूल ही गया था KFC को, क्योंकि घर में KFC बन रहा है.
चलो.
तो
Second question.
चिकन टेंडर्स बनेगा, चिकन लेग पीस बनेगा, विंग्स बनेगा, तो क्या देखेंगे? Everything is. So my day starts with my favorite dish, which is egg and cheese chicken sandwich made out of brioche bun.
Very sumptuous. Second question. Who inspires you the most?
I think I self-inspire myself, because I am such a rebel that no one can compensate me and my attitude. So I think मैं जैसा हूँ वैसा ठीक हूँ.
This deserves an applause. What is your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
I think work more to create the next big thing is the best way to unwind. Just as I have traveled and today I had to come here and interact with you, this is my best part of the day, to make sure that I have achieved something in inspiring and empowering co-entrepreneurs and leaders like you. So I would always find joy in learning from people and in giving to people.
Great.
Because for me, giving is best art of living.
Yeah, great. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
That's a complicated question. I never thought about it. Maybe you.
I'm not a historical figure, but thank you very much. I'm really flattered. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
I think learning to say sorry and keep grounded and stay humble, stay focused. Because when people like me get success, it gets into their head. But for me, success gets into my head in the form of heavy weight. I cannot handle limelight, celebrity status, because for me, I want to be myself, because I feel जो कुछ अभी तक हुआ है कुछ नहीं है according to me. There is much more to come. Best is yet to come. Because श्रीकांत जी का sequel to आना है, उसमें मैं act करना है राजकुमार राव के जगह. So अभी responsibility is more, but people think I have achieved. So people want to click selfies, photos. No, it's a big responsibility. it comes with lot of freedom comes with lot of responsibility. So I think living this life is a toughest thing, but I want to live and do more to make you all proud and do more and more.
Well said. So what innovation in the last decade do you find most significant?
I think all of us know. I think for me, it's WhatsApp and the
Oh.
analytical AI. I think WhatsApp has taken our lives so well. I think it has made our lives so beautiful in terms of how business can be done, how transactions can happen, how communications can happen, and people without WhatsApp can never live for a minute. I think it has been a God-given beautiful gift to the mankind, and we have to use it responsibly.
Great.